Okay, hello. Welcome back, subscribers. Thank you once again for supporting this initiative. This is our last week or 2 weeks for the subscription of this semester. So thank you so much for your support and all of your ideas. So this week, we're going to make some emphasis on plant-forward food. And what does this mean? It's basically making fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and seeds the main part of your dish and basically of your life. So just put them in front and let's try to minimize a little bit animal products as meat and some dairy and a little bit of eggs. So let's try to get all of those nutrients instead from plants. So I think you have noticed that has been one of the most important themes around this subscription. So we are also making emphasis on it because there's so many benefits on adding this kind of foods to your diet. Some of those things are supporting your local farmers and your community. It will also give you a sense of respect and empathy towards all living beings, which is important. It is amazingly good for the planet and the environment when you add more plants and legumes and vegetables to your meals. You are reducing the amount of greenhouse gases that are produced. You're also cutting the water use and the land use. So it's pretty good for the planet. And you're adding flavor and fresh foods to your meals. Today, we're going to focus, and this week you're going to get a bunch of recipes for vegetarian meals. And today we're going to be demoing rainbow frittata. So this is going to come in your bag. And this is a pretty simple, very versatile dish. So in your bag, you're going to be getting some of the ingredients. So we're going to get some very pretty beets that you're just going to cut in small cubes. You're going to be getting some purple carrots that you can grate. We did some pretty big grating here. You're going to be getting some fingerling potatoes that you're going to slice thinly. And some mushrooms that you're also going to cut pretty small. You also will be getting onions with that. You will have to supplement some of the garlic that you got last week. And we have some spices, just salt, pepper, and I'm using some sage here. This is a very versatile recipe because you can add anything at home that you have. We're gonna add some greens. So I have some kale here. And the idea is just to saute some of the ingredients. We have some of that going on here. We are already cooking onions, garlic, with a little bit of olive oil and mushrooms. Okay, so we're just gonna leave this to cook and caramelize over there. So once that's done, we're gonna add some of those greens, whatever you have at home. We're using kale here. So add some of that. And it will be ready when it's pretty much shrinked by half of the size of whatever you're using. So over here, we're gonna whisk together all of our eggs. And we're also gonna be adding here the salt, pepper, and whatever spices you wanna put in. So just make sure you mix all of that together. We're gonna be adding this mixture just at the end. You can prepare this recipe in these muffin tins, or you can use just any kind of baking sheet that's deep. So I like this because it's pretty practical. You can just have individual pieces and take them wherever you want or send it to your kids or whatever. So for this, we're gonna start layering it kind of in order. Grease your pan first, and then we're gonna start with the potatoes. So put those in the bottom. Then we're gonna go with the beets, carrots, what we are cooking over there. And then in top, we're going to put our mix of eggs. In the meantime, I wanted to talk about the other benefits of having a plant-forward diet, or a diet that focuses more on these wholesome ingredients, food that's least processed, food that you can find locally that has traveled less miles. that's more fresh, that has more flavor, that has more nutrients. So there's a lot of health benefits that can be found. Some of those are preventing chronic diseases and even reversing some of them. So heart disease, is there type 2 diabetes, if you have hypertension or insulin resistance, through a diet like this, you could achieve a little bit of control of all of those. Even with type 1 diabetes, it has been shown that it can be a more controllable disease, and you can reduce, for example, the amount of insulin that you need to use. So these kind of foods are wholesome. They are also filled with carbs. Carbohydrates and fiber are actually very important for our body, and even more for athletes, because they need all of that energy in order for our muscles to work, for our heart to pump blood, and all of those activities. So carbohydrates are number one over there. And then we have a lot of fiber, we have phytochemicals, we have vitamin E, C, A, like every vitamin and mineral, it's going to be found in these foods. So other things in your health, it helps you controlling your weight, managing your weight better. It reduces the risk of a lot of different types of cancer, especially breast, prostate, and colon cancer. There's some pretty good data that backs up that. And it will also help you reduce some cognitive decline and even slow down the progression of Alzheimer's disease. So when you add all of these colorful meals to your diet, you're also increasing other benefits that you'll be able to see in your body. And as well, it has been found that there is less inflammation in your body, and this is also related to autoimmune diseases. So people with autoimmune diseases, for example, rheumatoid arthritis, they find that their symptoms get lessened and they have less inflammation in general in their body. So those are just some of the good things that you could achieve with this kind of diet. So I encourage you to try it, even if it's once a week or from time to time. Just try to incorporate more of these whole foods, less processed ingredients. Then my carrots, so remember potatoes first, then beets, then carrots. Then we'll add our mixture that's cooking here in the bag. So now that this is good and it smells delicious, you can add a little bit of that mixture on top. Yeah, I like this because you can add anything you have in your fridge. Just saute it, add some spices. So one more thing that you're gonna find in the education flyer for this week is the vegan and vegetarian athletes plate. So right now here, as part of the sports nutrition grad program, we are looking into developing a guide and a plate for athletes so they can have a balanced meal with using just plants and vegetables. So following a visual tool like this is going to allow athletes to maintain their performance, to be well nourished, and to have all the other benefits that we've been talking about. So you can learn a little bit more about plant-based diets for athletes with that handout. So just making sure everything is inside so it doesn't get burned. Okay, so now that this is ready, we're going to put it in the oven for about 8 to 5 minutes, but I encourage you to check it and make sure the egg is pretty well cooked. Okay, so this is the final result. Just a couple of tips. Well, I ran out of eggs, so I just did some baked vegetables that are actually great, so you can put them on the side, and do not fill them too much because they will spill over. So I would say 3/4 of the muffin. So enjoy. Just decorate them as you want them and play with them.